Hi there, Vulcan node owners. Nathan B here with hopefully a very quick video today. I just wanted to go through and show you how to terminate or delete the virtual machine in AWS and Azure. So for any of the Alpha 20 odd virtual machines, we can delete those now. We can remove the instance they're not being used. But also for the people that went through the educational sessions on how to set up a node in the cloud and install Linux and configure it and different things. Yeah, that was with the SafeUX code, so we can also delete those. If you're going to be selected for testnet, then it would be a new instance, and then it's going to be pulling down a repository of the Vulcan code for testnet. And also with mainnet's going to be a completely different install. So now that we've had that education and you know how to manage your investment from the cloud side and from Linux to a point, we've learned some stuff, we can go down and shut down these instances. So I'm going to do it in AWS first, because majority of people are using AWS, and then you can kind of exit out, and then I'll continue on with Azure. So once you log on to your account in AWS, you're going to go to the EC2 dashboard. So I think you can search for EC2 up here and then get to the dashboard. The goal here is in this section here. I can't fit it all in, but essentially within here, you want to end up with zeros for everything except for the security group, because you cannot delete the default security group. Okay, so the first thing you can see here, I've got an elastic IP, I've got an instance. I click on my instance here and you can see that it is running. And quite simply, all you want to do is go up to this instance state. And most of you have probably clicked on this to stop. If it's stopped now, that's fine. But what we're going to do here is this time we're going to click on this terminate instance. So I'm going to go ahead and terminate the instance. Yeah, it's talking about, are you sure that you want to terminate? There's a elastic IP associated with it. So I will click on terminate now for the instance. And that was pretty quick. It has already terminated that. You can see the state here is, or the instance state is shutting down. If I select that, do a refresh here. Yeah, so shutting down. Let's go across back to the EC2 dashboard in AWS, and I will refresh that. And you can see that the instance running is 0 now. I think that was 1 before. The instances are still 0 here. Sorry, still 1. So I can see the state here is terminated, and that's really the goal, is to get to that state. Now, AWS doesn't immediately remove all these dependency resources. It takes a little while. But it is terminated, it is gone, as you can see. Now, the other thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to delete some of the other resources, as I said, except for the security group, because you cannot delete that one. So I'm going to go across to this elastic IP here, and I'm going to select here to release the elastic IP, and I'm going to select release that. Okay, so now I've released that elastic IP. Okay, alright, so I'm going to go back to the EC2 dashboard, refresh that, and you can see that the elastic IP now is being released from the terminated instance, and that is also 0. Instances we know, so you can see we're getting down a little bit here. The last one here is the key pair. So I'm going to go and select that and select on action and delete that. Okay, it's asking me to type in delete here. Delete that. And that is gone. I'm going to go back to the EC2 dashboard, refresh that, and you can see that that's default. As I said, the last one is the default. And you can leave all your configuration. I don't have any inbound rules or outbound rules for this demo, but we should have some inbound rules that we created. You can leave those. That's not going to cost you any money or that setup. We can change that later on. That I'm not worried about. So right now the instance is terminated. It is still showing in the EC2 dashboard. We have one security group. We have no key pairs. Another thing is you can then go and look for your PEM file or your PPK file associated with the instance, and you can also delete that. All right, so that is the steps on how to delete an instance in AWS. And from this point on, you will be charged no money at all. If there are some charges up, I think until the 9th of the month, then you will get some charges on that. But post that, I'm sorry, the 9th is for Azure actually, that AWS does month, starting 1st to the 30th. So all the charges within the month you'll get on the 1st of the next month, proceeding where we're at right now. So that is it for AWS. As I said, if you remember, if you followed this text document, then when we deployed this, we deployed this this repository here for SafeOX, and if you browse to that, it shows you all the code associated with what you deployed. But you can see this was for SafeOX, so there's absolutely no point in keeping it around. And that is it. So I will switch across to the Azure section. So for those that can drop off, I'll finish it here. All right, so for the Azure section here, people are running Azure and want to delete their VM. You're going to log on to the Azure portal, and in here you're going to type in virtual machines, or if you see virtual machines, you're going to click on it. It'll be in the left-hand pane here as well. Go into your node, and what you want to do is if it's not stopped, you want to click on stop here and select yes to deallocate the machine. Once we have, once the machine is stopped and deallocated, then we can delete it. For this goal, if you click across here under all resources here, for me, the goal to get rid of the virtual machine with no costs, would be to get rid of all of this. And you can see that my resource group here is Vulcan, for everything to do with my virtual machine. So, all right, I'm going to go back to the virtual machine and just go in there and see if we are stopped and deallocated. Good. All right, so now I'm going to click on delete here, and I'm going to select apply a force delete just to get rid of all the other dependencies here. And I'm going to select the network interface. Some people may want to keep that, but for this, we don't need to at all. We can select delete, and then I've understood the terms and conditions and select delete. All right, I'm going to go, I'm going to jump across to all resources here and refresh this, and eventually you'll start seeing a lot of these, or most of these, disappear here. Now, just while that's going through, my Azure security key for connecting was this PEM file here. So I don't need that anymore because I'm deleting the SSH resource that links to that PEM key. So I don't need that one because the instance is being deleted, so I then can go and delete that file as well. All right, so we are back. You can see here it's successfully deleted. I'm going to refresh now, and you can see that they're starting to go. Oops. All right, go across there. Let's see if it's gone from here yet. The thing with the Azure VMs is it actually deletes the whole thing and no trace to it, unlike AWS that does leave it around and they do it in the background for you eventually. All right, you can see here that now I can see that the actual virtual machine has gone, but I can see that there are still some things left behind. None of these are going to cost money, but for me, I'm going to clean this up because I'm going to use this for my mainnet. So I want everything to go, unless you're using this subscription for something else, which I doubt it. But so I'm going to select everything and I'm going to type yes to delete. And I'm going to delete. Again, the goal here under all resources in Azure is to just have this empty. Okay, now you can see that everything is deleted there. I'm going to refresh that. There's nothing in the all resources for Azure. I can log off now and I will not be charged moving forward from this point. And now we just wait. We wait for either TestNet to be selected to go into TestNet as a voluntary thing to do, and you'll deploy a new instance in AWS or Azure, and then deploy the actual instructions associated with the Vulcan code. But yeah, so hopefully that was useful for also the Azure folks out there, and until next video, take care, bye.